Oh, an error occurred. Oh dear. Why is
Uh-oh.
it? Why is there an error? Oh
You
no.
obviously broke it.
Now it says we are live.
There you go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to PR Explored. And we have with us a very special guest today. Peter Shankman is here with us, and I'm so happy to have him. And we're going to be talking all about his brand new resource hero. Welcome, Peter.
Ah, yeah.
So, um, tell us a little bit about the kind of the backstory, because I think, first of all, HERO stands for Help Every Reporter Out. And I think some of us were wondering if you would ever, do another iteration. I don't want to mention, the backstory. I mean, we can talk about the backstory, but anyway, you've been down this road before. What would make you want to do this again?
It wasn't planned. I didn't want to do it. I had no intention of doing it. And then I started getting all these emails saying, hey, they're closing down that other company. They're folding it in. No more emails. You should do it again. I said, no, no, no. And then I sent an email to my list, about 20,000 people, friends of mine. They're like, yeah, raise a glass for what was. It's gone now. And I got like 2,000 responses like, you should do it again. I'm like, God damn it. So, and again, still didn't want to do it again. And then my girlfriend said, oh, you should just change A to every and call it hero. And I'm like, damn it. How did I not see that? Now I have to do it. And here we go.
And the response, I mean, this thing is just, taken off, right? I mean, in the first couple of days, there were, I don't know, 10,000 subscribers or
Yeah,
something
we're
like
about
that.
20,000 right now.
Okay. And is there any idea what the breakdown is? I mean, between reporters and PR comms pros?
Yeah, it's about 35-40% comms people using the service and about 60% entrepreneurs, small business, things like that.
Okay.
We've had
So
over 550 queries, I think.
I've been looking at them. They come out, is it 2 times a day or 3
Right now
times?
it's 2 times a day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking. I think I'm seeing them twice a day. So, um, yeah. Um, so, I mean, a lot of us, I think, on the PR side of things, and probably on the journalist side of things too, we're just really excited because I think there's a lot of like not so great things happening in the world of PR resources and tools and tech. And so, I think that we're really excited to see it, and we're happy that you're, taking the time to do this because, I mean, obviously, you got a lot of stuff going on. You're an entrepreneur, you've written 6
I
books, you're
do.
a keynote speaker. I mean, you travel all around the world speaking. And so the fact that you're doing this, I think is like, and you're going to keep it free, your commitment to keeping it free, right?
That's the entire goal. I have no desire whatsoever to charge for it ever. And as long as I'm running it, I won't.
Right. Well, that's another question. I mean, I don't know if it's a fair question to ask. It's early days, but I mean, would you consider, selling it at some point? I mean, we don't know.
Sure, why not? Um, I think at the end of the day, I want to keep it what it is right now. So if I sold it, I'd go with it. But I think it's way too early to think about that. I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
as long as I'm helping people, everyone wins.
So, and journalist response has been positive too.
Oh yeah, they love it. I think they love it because, like I said, I've always been very much about, homie, don't play that. If you um, post off topic, or if you're a reporter and you submit under false pretenses, you're gone. It's not even a question. So
Yeah.
I have nothing to, I'm not trying to sell a media database or anything like that. So I have no stake held in whether or not you stay or you go. So if
Right.
this benefits you and you play by the rules, you stay. If you don't, you go. And either way, I'm still sleeping perfectly at night.
Right. Well, I think that's one of the biggest problems. It's been like this for years, but PR pros sending off-topic pitches to journalists, not doing their research, just shooting from the hip, sending out everything and anything to anybody. And so I love that right on the hero page, and I'm going to put the link up right now. It says, only reply if you have actually something productive to add.
Yeah, and I show, when I get quotes, when I get notes from reporters that say, hey, this guy pitched off topic, or this guy, I email them. I'm like, hey, when you signed up, you agreed to this. You haven't done that, so see ya. No second chances, no begging. It's like life's too short, man.
Yeah. And that's a serious, it's a serious thing. You take it seriously, and yes, you will do it. I mean, I've heard about it happening. So, and it says, just promise me and yourself that you'll ask yourself before you send a response, is this response really on target? Is this response really going to help the journalist, or is this just a BS way for me to get in front of the reporter?
Absolutely.
Reading right from the page. So, again, this just speaks to something that's a pretty big issue, and it is somewhat driven by the media databases, and also sometimes some PR agencies, I would say, that just pull a list, shoot a pitch out. They don't do research. I don't think we really need to be pitching hundreds of journalists at a time with one story. That's my opinion
No, if
anyway.
you're doing your homework and you get the right, you and there's so many solutions out there. Muckrack, for instance, has free backgrounders on every single journalist out there. Type in the journalist name, add the word Muckrack into Google, and you'll probably come up with their page. And if nothing else, that gives you a very, very easy way to start seeing what kind of stuff they cover. And that helps.
Right. Right. Because I think what happens is journalists get inundated with these junky pitches, and then they don't read any pitches, which really hurts all of us who are actually trying to do a thoughtful job of researching and targeting, the right journalists. So
I don't remember his last name, but Chris Anderson, of course, of Wired magazine, back in 2004, issued the first ever press, a PR or FLAC, was it FLAC shame list, and it was like 200 agencies with employees who, by name, employees who have just like pitched terribly, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, how would you do that?" I'm like, "You go, Chris!" That was awesome. If you're pitching well, you have nothing to be concerned about.
Right. But that's bold. I don't know. I'm surprised they're not doing that now, though. I mean, some will call it out, but
I mean, the industry knows exactly who sucks and who's good. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Be good. Just do better. Do slightly better.
Right. And it's not
Bar
really
is
that.
so low that I don't need you to be awesome as a publicist. I need you to just suck slightly less than what's out there, and you'll win all the things. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, I think, if you listen to PR people talk about reporters, they never get back, they never respond. I'm like, well, are you looking in the mirror? Because it could be, it's maybe not them, maybe it's you, so sometimes I wonder about that too. I mean, and again, there are, bad people in every profession, people that are
Of
not
course
doing
there
their
are.
job.
It's not that they're bad. They're bad publicists. They're bad journalists. They're bad politicians. They're bad doctors. There's bad everyone. On the flip side, they're good everyone, and it doesn't, because there are so many bad everyone's, it doesn't take that much to be good. Right? I had it, like I said, I've said this before. I had a journalism teacher at Boston University back in the 90s who said, "Be brilliant at the basics." And it's still the best advice I ever got.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And it's kind of, people get away from that, and then they get lost because they're trying to buy a tool that's going to fix it. I'm like, no, that's not really. But this is a helpful resource. Hero is a helpful resource. Now, talk about the email, the fact that it's email based. You said you will always stick with the email.
Yeah, email is the world's killer app. It always has been. There used to be a service out there called Foursquare. Foursquare was this. I'm sorry, not Foursquare. I'm sorry, I'm screwing up. Time Hop. Used to be a service called Time Hop, and it would show you everything you'd posted online or tweeted or Facebooked or whatever, everything you'd done on social media in previous years. And every morning you would get an email from Time Hop with, it was the coolest email to read. Other than Harrow, it was like the only one I ever opened because it had, oh yeah, that's right. 7 years ago today, I was at this conference or at this water park or in this country. It was really cool to read. And then one day they're like, hey, we're shutting down the emails. We're moving to an app. So now I have to remember every day to go to an app, find time in my day to remember to go to an app and read it.
Mm-hmm.
I did that once. And then I unsubscribed. Email will always be the killer app. It's in your face. It's disruptive. It's right there. You're never going to remember to check. If I moved Hero to the web, you're never going to remember to go there 3 times a day and read about it. You know, we have lives. We're busy. But this email comes in. It takes 2.5 seconds. You read it. Oh, yeah, I should answer that. Done. Move on with your day. Reinventing the wheel is kind of pointless, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, email is the one thing that, I mean, I know I check regardless of, you know, the day of the week or where I'm at, or even on vacation. I know some people would argue with that, but it's just something that it's in my blood at this point. I would check it regardless of what was happening probably. So, and I won't go to a website, you know, that often. So
I was in Paris this past weekend. I took my daughter to see Taylor Swift, and I have international roaming everywhere I go on my data plan, so it's not a problem. But you always want to be mindful and try to be present. So the only thing I really checked was email. Right? I wasn't reading Instagram. I wasn't doing it. It just makes sense.
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
Yeah. What else is in the works? Do you have any other thing that you want to share or anything happening?
So I also run a company called Mental Capital. We help corporations learn how to attract, hire, and retain neurodiverse employees. So I'm massively ADHD. I've written several books about it, both adult and children's books. And the premise is that companies that hire for neurodiverse tend to hire better and tend to have better employees and better workplace environments. So we're teaching companies like Adobe, Morgan Stanley, and Google how to use their neurodiverse employees better and how to create neuro-inclusive environments where both neurodiverse and neurotypical employees feel welcomed. And I'm having a blast doing that. I started it with a good friend of mine who's a psychologist, an ex-girlfriend actually, who's a psychologist, and it's growing really well. We have great clients and having a lot of fun with that. So that's one of the things I'm doing. I write a lot. I'm a talking head on CNN, the usual chaos.
Yeah. What's next for Hero?
I'm just going to keep building it. I did a great partnership with a company called Muck Rack, where we are going to start putting in the Muck Rack data sheets on every reporter next to the queries. So reporters, so sources know who they're dealing with. Sources know what these reporters are about, things like that. I'm really super excited about that. So yeah.
How did you decide?
I'm going to keep it growing.
That's great. That's great news for us, I think, for all of us in PR and comms anyway. How did you decide to go with Muck Rack? Is there anything?
They are a great company. I love their service. I love that they have this huge database on journalists that they offer for free, right? You can click on any reporter and find out their info without having to sign up for a massive commitment. It's just something they offer. And I like the fact that they care about journalists and reporters enough to make this stuff available.
I don't think I knew that it was free. I thought you had to be a subscriber to access the.
I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at. So if in the chat, so here, connect to YouTube to join the live chat. That's a pain in the butt. Hang on. But yeah, the premise. Okay, continue. And the irony is I actually have a membership to StreamYard. But that being said, okay, now I'm in. So here, check this out.
Okay.
Comment has failed to post. Lovely. Okay, so anyway, my point being is that if you go to muckrack.com / I don't know, Heather Altamirano is one of the users there. Yeah, can't post any comments to you. Okay, whatever. Anyway, when you go type in any journalist's name and the word muckrack, 2 words next to it, and you'll see their page. And this page has writer and reporter. It lives in Joshua Tree, Los Angeles. As seen in MSN Canada, MSN Ireland, Yahoo Finance, AOL News. I'm all over the places I cover. Did not cover products or brands. I do not cover food. And then it shows articles that she's written. So 12 hours ago, it posted an article from Yahoo Finance about 4 unexpected habits of frugal millionaires, things like that. So you can get a really amazing background into what this person has written about, and it's there for the taking.
I just looked myself up because I'm in their database as a freelance journalist.
Oh my!
And so there, I found it. There it is. Okay, well that's good to know. I don't know if they talk about that very much. That's so funny because I feel like I know a lot about.
Even I have one, which is hysterical. As seen in Medium, Business Insider, HuffPost, Fox News, New York Post, Entrepreneur, MarketWatch, Convince and Convert, Attitude Magazine, and more. Yeah.
That's a good tip. See, people got a tip. There you go.
I've written 124 articles, so yeah.
Yeah, I do like to look at my portfolio on there because it's a lot. 326 articles. Yeah, sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
How many?
But again, the fact that it exists, right? The fact that it exists right there should just give you should help you understand that there's no excuse for a reporter to be, or for a source to be lazy. It just isn't.
Right. They're just trying to. Some agencies I have heard measure based on the number of pitches that are sent, and I'm like, why would anybody ever?
No, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely. Well, it's so they can have it. They can show a huge stack of papers and say, "Look what we did," but it's bullshit.
But did they get one story? Did they
exactly? That's my point. I remember. I remember when I was running my PR firm, we were up against another company, and they came in and they said, "Oh, look at all this stuff," and I opened up like, "These are press releases. These are press releases."
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are wrong. So we're so excited that, Hero is something that's going right. I mean, it's really, I don't know. We just needed a shot in the arm, so we're happy.
Trying my best, just gotta have fun with it.
And I do think a lot of people in the PR world, I know I have been, following you for ages. So I'm like, it's fun to have you back kind of over in the fold.
It's nice to be back.
And I saw that, I think you were in PR Week. I think I saw that article you posted on Threads today. So, and that's really a great place to keep up with Peter, by the way. I'll put your Threads up there too, because I know you and I are both on Threads. Not everybody is.
Yeah. I quit Twitter months ago. I just can't. I can't in good conscience do it.
Yeah. Yep. I get it. Let's see. So we know how to keep up with Peter. He's active on Threads. He's active on Insta, but more on the personal side, probably, right?
Yeah, but a little bit of both.
And then I'm going to put your site up here too. What else? What else do you want to talk about? We have a few minutes left. If anybody has a question, I'd be happy to.
Post some questions. I'm happy to take them. What else can I tell you? I am not training for anything right now. Normally, I'm training for at least one race, but I am just focusing on my daughter's going to summer camp for 6 weeks. She's going to sleepaway camp, so I'll have some free time to actually start training again for something. Got to figure out what I want to do, but I'll do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ask. I'm an open book. I mean, anyone who wants to know anything about me, I'm more than happy to answer any questions about anything. It's just life's too short not to.
Looked like you had a good time in Paris. I did see.
My daughter had a blast at Taylor Swift. There should be a graduate level course on her. She's amazing. That woman is just a master class in business marketing.
So we're getting a couple questions. What is the biggest challenge facing PR people today? I'll put this on the screen.
I think separating themselves from all the idiots out there. There's so many idiots doing PR badly, and journalists are doing 10 times more with 5 times less. They're being asked to do so much more with so much less. That if you could just separate yourself and be slightly better, like I said, you're going to win everything.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how many people don't do that.
Well, and I think some of us are trying. I can't speak for everyone, but I know that some of us are really trying. And then I
Oh
think
no,
it's
definitely, I
frustrating.
agree.
Well, it's just frustrating when we see, journalists complain. And I know, but and it's a real problem. It is a real problem. So, um, I just, I love it when we can support each other because I think a lot of people in PR have a journalism degree. I do. And so, you understand like what goes into writing a story and then all the layoffs that are happening. I think a
Yeah.
lot of us are trying to support our friends in journalism. So I just
I
would love
come
to
from
see.
I come from a journal. I mean, I started the newsroom at America Online. That was
Oh, wow.
my first job at a school.
I don't know if I knew that. See, we learned
Yeah,
something new.
I founded AOL News with three other journalists.
Oh, wow. I used to work at CompuServe when I was in college.
Oh yeah, back in the day. Yeah, we torched your
AOL
ass.
acquired CompuServe. Yeah.
Amazing times.
All right. Let's see with the next question. Favorite event to keynote?
Oh man, good question. Oh man. I did a keynote in the Philippines once, which was just on this island, which was pretty awesome because it was on an island. But I think anything where people learn, I do a lot of keynotes about customer experience and customer service. Anyone where people learn and
Mhm.
actually get something out of what I'm talking about is a win. But I keynoted Indeed, the hiring company, their corporate keynote back in 2018. That was awesome. I did an event in Singapore, which is amazing, and I also did one in China. So anywhere overseas, I think I love being overseas. But yeah, get me a stage. I'll be on it. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, you came to Columbus. I saw you speak in person,
Yeah.
and you just could go. I think, I was excited that you that you would come to Columbus. But anyway,
Yeah, Adrian remembers. Yes, it was Chris Ducker. That was an amazing. I keynoted in 2016 and 2017 in the Philippines. That was pretty awesome.
oh wow, see, this is like a trip down memory lane now.
Really.
Let's see. How about another question? As a journalist, how can I attract the most aligned sources? Angela asks.
Be as specific as is humanly possible. Um, I need a pediatrician who's been working for more than 20 years, who's seen at least 5 cases of babies being born with 14 extra thumbs. I don't know, whatever. As opposed to I need a pediatrician or a doctor who works with kids. Because you'd say I need a pediatrician or a doctor who works with kids. That's going to open up the floodgates for idiots to flood you with just complete bullshit that you don't need. I need this must be this with this with this. It's going to limit that tremendously.
Yeah. I think finding sources, the right sources, is a lot of work.
And then once you
So,
have that source, hug that source, right? Like use them and then send them the article and say, hey, let's stay in touch. Give me anything else you have. Make them your friend. You're doing so much more with someone else. A good source's job understands their job is to make your job easier. So give them the ability to do that.
mhm, mhm. That's what I tell clients. If they do a good job, like if they're very helpful with in an interview with a reporter, then the reporter's more likely to come back to them again. And so that's why I'm always like, well, we really have to bend over backwards for the reporters. So not everybody. I've heard a lot of reporters saying that PR people are like denying interviews, like even after they've put out a pitch or like
Right?
no.
How stupid.
I'm like, what is going on? Like, what? Why would you even bother? Like, if you're not going to be available, or your spokesperson's in Fiji for a month, or like, why
Yeah.
would you? What? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Tell me about it.
Let's see here. How should PR pros be future proofing their practice? That's a good question.
Understand that AI is not going to save the world. It certainly can help you, but it's not going to save the world. Right? I think the best way to future proof is just become better at what you do. Become a better writer, become a better creator, become a better content and producer. Whatever it is you do, always focus on doing it better. Anyone who works for me can take as many classes in writing or marketing or communications as they want. I'll pay for them because I want smart people with me. Figure out ways to become better at what you do.
Yeah, I love that because I feel like with AI, everyone thinks, oh, now I don't have to even worry about my writing. Like, I don't have to bother my writing. And I'm like, no, that's not what it means.
That's
No.
the complete opposite of true.
Yeah. So I hope that I hope some of the shiny tool syndrome is starting to slow down and fade away a little bit. So I'm
Yep.
happy to hear you say this. Let's see. Anybody else have a question? I'm sure Peter has a busy day, and if anybody else has a question, we will be happy to hang out here
Yeah,
another.
or just email me afterwards, peter@shankman.com. I answer all my own email.
Yay. Is there anything else we should talk about?
Do you have recommendations for writing courses? Yeah, check out any local community college. Find someone who's really good. A lot of journalists are teaching now because it's something for them to do. So yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff out there.
I'd also say, she said it takes too long. I'd say good writing does take time. I mean, that's maybe the bad news for some people, but like, I really spend a lot of time, I'll, draft it, walk away, come back, like there's a process for me. Like, I don't just usually blast stuff out.
Hemingway said it best: write drunk, edit sober.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that.
Angela says, are you solo or do you have a team? I know you have a small team, right? Or
I have an assistant who mostly does my scheduling and travel, but in terms of Hero right now, I'm doing everything on my own. At some point, I'll probably wind up hiring people like I did last time.
okay. The latest Google event puts SEO and by extension content writing in question. Thoughts? I don't know if I've studied up on that yet.
You're never going to go wrong with good writing. Again, I'll say it. There's always a space for good writing. Yes, things are going to become more computerized, but that's going to help you. The more you can do with better writing, the more you can become a better writer, a better communicator. The more you can create great content in a short amount of time and get people's attention in 2.7 seconds they have to get it, you'll win.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. We loved having you. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us today, Peter, and thanks for bringing Hero, help every reporter out, to us. Thank you.
Most pleasure was mine. Stay in touch.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.